Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. This is a new channel for Back Rabbit Outdoors. Today I went out to Spring Creek on the north side of Houston, do some kayaking and practice some bushcraft skills. I'm pretty much an amateur to the scene, and I've always liked being outdoors, but I've never really seriously taken on some of these projects. So I'm looking forward to just making some time outdoors and being sure that I'm not only having a good time, but I'm doing it safely and with a good impact to the environment. As you can see here, I'm toting a kayak down to the creek. It's about a quarter of a mile, so I made that a pretty good trek. And as you can see, it's a lot of walking. But soon I got on the water, and current was pretty strong. We had a lot of rain all night. I was trying to go upstream and I couldn't quite do it. There you can see the stick for my homemade selfie stick. I'm getting tangled up in some trees here and having a hard time getting free. Kurt just kept spinning me around. Here you can see all of a sudden I start to adjust my camera and I do my own stunts. I got a dog paddle. I got to tread water with my homemade selfie stick in one hand, my paddle in the other. Thankfully, always safety first. I was wearing my life jacket, helped keep me up. I was about a third of the way out in the middle of the creek, and it was a little bit of a swim there. So here soon you'll see I make it back to shore. Well, at least my camera makes it back to shore before I do. I'll go ahead and just put that up there and take my time to get out of that slippery bank. And at this point I thought I had lost my kayak, but then I looked around and I see that I look over my shoulder, the kayak's over my shoulder, stuck up in some more branches. So pretty much all I lost was I had a glow-in-the-dark Nalgene water bottle that was full of my drinking water, and I also had a hoodie I had taken off when I started paddling because it got pretty warm. Luckily, this was a full tree that was still anchored in the bank, and I was able to walk out on it and get a hold of the kayak and pull it on in. Water was cold. It was about 45 degrees out, so that water was pretty chilly. Well, here you see I was actually going to do this later in the day and show some fire making skills, but since I got soaked and I was cold, thought I'd go ahead and go over it right then. What I have in my hand is a pill bottle that has cotton balls that have been rubbed down with Vaseline, and that makes a really good tinder. And at this point I had never even made a fire out of necessity, and using that as a good tinder. And I'm about here, I gotta fluff it up to make sure that it'll take a spark from my flint striker, my ferro rod. Some people call it a ferrocerium rod. I'd thrown some sparks around the house to make sure that I could throw a spark with it, but I never actually started a fire with it. If you see on the back end there, it does have a striker that came with it, but I didn't have much success with that in my test runs, so I went ahead and used my pocket knife. I know using that kind of pocket knife or folding blade is not optimal safety-wise, but I made sure to brace it correctly so it didn't fold up on my hand when I was trying to strike it. Here you can see I got the Vaseline cotton ball stuck to the knife. It's a big comedy show today with going in the water and trying to light it. I was able to get a couple good sparks going. It just took a little bit to get it ignited. There we go. And you can see here my head's smoking from being so cold and all the heat going out of my body. Now, since safety and redundancy is a key part of being prepared, I'm also showing that I have a waterproof case that has windproof matches in it. Those are not waterproof, so I do have to keep them in the watertight case. The striker on the side of the case had gotten wet, but luckily, again, redundancy is part of preparation, and I had dry striking pads inside the watertight case. And so it was pretty easy for me to just go ahead and strike that up and get those matches going, and lit up another cotton ball just to make sure it would take. This was something I had not tested before, but in theory I knew it was going to work. Here in a second you can see the smoke going, and you can see more smoke coming off my head. With both of these cotton balls, they didn't burn all the way down, so I went ahead and snuffed them out with the dirt and put them back in the pill bottle so I could pack out my trash. It's one thing I always try and do, is make sure that if I brought it in, I bring it back out, so not to leave litter and any kind of trash around. All in all, it was a pretty eventful day. I had to walk around and find the trail to get back to the ramp and get back to the car. Here you can see I'm having to drag the canoe out. But I learned a lot, not only to check the current before I get in the kayak, but redundancy and preparation really can take care of. I appreciate y'all watching this video, and y'all be safe out there. This is Back Rabbit Outdoors, and be prepared for more videos. Thank you very much.